Welcome back. Joined by a good friend here, Ryan from William Joseph Agency. And now you join us for Advice, kind of our guru of marketing and advertising. Today we're talking about the psychology behind these ads. And I'm going to throw it over to you because it's all based off this article by a pretty smart guy, I would say.
Yes, Mr. Harry Hollingsworth.
Yes.
So I'll take you back to some university days here where we're going to go back to Marketing 101. And there's a lot of psychology behind what makes an ad amazing, right? So I don't know if you knew that, but it's more than just whipping up some pretty pictures. So Harry came up with this, Harry Hollingsworth created this article that we're referencing today, and he identified that there's 4 key points that make an ad kind of stand out or are effective. So the first thing is, and we have a slide here that outlines the 4 points. So the first point is we have to create get your attention. So we have to interrupt you somewhat during your day, say, excuse me, take a look at this. So we're going to interrupt you, and we're going to tell you a story or a message that we want you to then remember.
Okay.
Right? So point 3 is to remember. Then what's going to happen is we're going to want you to do an action with that. So we want you to buy something. We want you to change a behavior. We want you to do something. Because otherwise, you'll see these great ads that you're like, oh, isn't that amazing? But you might not remember what company it was, or you might not do anything. So for an ad to be effective, you have to remember it, and then you have to do something with it.
And I can always think of certain ads that always catch my attention, and they stick with you for years even.
Yeah, do you remember that ad from Super Bowl?
And it seems that they all have that common thread because everyone else is talking about them as well. So
Totally.
let's look at some examples here because we have some images to pull up that follow these rules that Hollingsworth came up with, one of them being the emotional ideas.
Yeah, so we all think about ads that are like super funny or super sad. They even talk about sex appeal, sex sells. Well, that's exactly the time and place to put it as an emotional ad. So the first example we have is with a pet food company. And what they're doing is they're using guilt. So the idea here is that if you just feed your dog scraps, you know, and it's going into a trash can, the trash can looks like a dog, you'd feel kind of guilty feeding your dog, you know, garbage.
It definitely triggered some guilt in my heart, absolutely.
So then you'd run off and buy their great pet food.
Yes, okay, I like that.
That's a guilt approach.
Okay, and there's other approaches as well. There's the guilt, and you said as well, the sex appeal as well.
Yeah, well, absolutely. So there's a whole variety of different ads that trigger the emotion, and when you remember it and it hits you in the heart, you tend to remember it a little bit more.
Makes sense. Let's move on to our next example here. This was the one where you reposition the competition and you're highlighting their flaws. So it's blame on them.
Yeah, absolutely. So sometimes you have to move into a space where, you know, the competition might be winning over here, so you'll push them over there so you can shine here. So this is a great example with Volkswagen, and what they did is they titled their ad Lemon. And you think, why would they highlight their own flaw? So if you read the body copy, it's like, you know, I'm not sure our car's fit to buy. We've done all this testing, and there was a slight glitch in the glove box. Well, what it pointed out is, look at how rigorous their testing is compared to the competitions.
So saying,
right?
Yes, we found the glitch, but look.
Look how amazing. And so what they highlighted was actually how superior they were in a backhanded way.
Okay, see, I feel like that's a tricky one for agencies to come up with.
Oh, we're smart people, I tell you.
We're smart people. Okay, next example, and more of these smart examples, promoting exclusivity.
Right, so you think about like colognes or like high-end cars, different types of ads that position themselves as they're the exclusive provider, and so you want to belong to that club, right?
Club, yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
We're the Gucci people. So the point is here is this is the U.S. Marines and what they've positioned themselves as the elite heroes, right? So you join our group and you're amongst the elite.
You know what? I can see that in many ads. I feel like this one's a common one.
Yeah, there absolutely is.
And the last one here, we've got food for thought. You got to explain that one to me a little bit better.
Well, food for thought, or fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
There we go.
Right? So the thing is, in this case, what some ads do, and especially some social causes, where they want you to actually be like, like it's a shock factor, right? So this example is for children's cancer. It's an organization for children's cancer. And what they have is it's cigarette smoke going around the kid's head, and it forms the shape of a plastic bag. And the tagline is, it's actually murder.
It's very effective, and it actually draws to mind there's a bunch of drunk driving ads right now where there's a child in the vehicle, you know, screaming, and those stuck with me.
Oh my God, they hit you hard, right?
They do, and it's very, very effective. So for those in the advertising agency, these are the 4 concepts that you think everyone should stick to.
Well, you know what? These are 4 options that you can use to carry your message. So, you know, our advice is always don't be neutral You know, there's a benefit between really using these different approaches to carry that message home, because I think at the end of the day that's more impactful, it's more memorable, and hopefully it causes you to act.
Absolutely. Points that will stick with you, and definitely an article that carries its impactful. Well, thank you so much for joining me. That's Advice with Ryan.
Thank you.